Good evening, everyone. My name is Dwayne, and this is Adrian.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, Adrian. We are with the Chicago Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. We're here to talk about CPAC, the Civilian Police Accountability Council. We're here every Tuesday at 6:30.
Yep.
And, we're just here to inform people of what CPAC is all about, get people informed. We're almost 50,000 signatures so far, so we're like halfway there. We're working the streets, daily, especially on the weekends, Saturdays. And Adrian, if you could talk a little bit about what we held this Saturday on 71st and Jeffrey.
So over the weekend, we collapsed at our tables at all of the other sites, and we moved everything to 71st and Jeffrey. And on 71st and Jeffrey, we did a lot of canvassing. We spoke to a lot of people, got a lot of signatures, since it's really just about getting a larger signature count at this point. And what else happened
Well,
on
we
Saturday?
also did a little canvassing as far as putting literature on
Throughout the neighborhood.
throughout the neighborhoods and talking to the people, letting them know what CPAC is all about. Once again, CPAC stands for Civilian Police Accountability Council. And why this is important is because of the police crimes that have been going on in Chicago and throughout the United States, particularly against people of color. And that's why we're trying to push this ordinance so that we can have an elected official, a civilian elected official. Right, Adrian?
True.
Because as of right now, it doesn't appear to be, when such as Laquan McDonald, I know that's a high profile case, but it's really a case that really kind of like hits you because this young man was shot, 15 times? 15 or 16 times, and, it's like murder. I mean, I don't know which other way to put it. And five of the seven officers, are pending, litigation. Two of the seven officers have since retired. So I don't know how that's going to work as far as if they're going to be held accountable for their actions on that night.
I doubt it.
Pretty much. Why would they all of a sudden retire? So it's pretty ironic that they did that. Let's talk a little bit about the weekend, the Labor Day weekend.
How do you believe the response was from us being on 71st and Jeffrey? What's your interpretation?
I thought the response was great. We got a chance to talk to a lot of people. And, if you listen to the people, I think I really enjoy talking to people on the streets because it's like you get to hear the people, they're not in front of a TV, they're not in front of a mic, so they're kind of comfortable in saying really what they want to say. And people are really fed up about the police crimes that have been going on, not just in Chicago, but throughout the United States against people of color, particularly black people. I'm just being honest. And, something needs to be done, and that's why CPAC is so important, the Civilian Police Accountability Council, which we're trying to pass so we can have an elected official, a civilian elected official, to pretty much govern the police when they do something wrong or something that's illegal like they have been doing, throughout this year and previous years.
Yeah, and just saying that CPAC will have the power to govern the police, that does sound pretty harsh. What it's more like is like an entity within the police, like task force. It's another built-in system, something that they won't be able to override. Just because there are systems in place that
they're not doing their job.
No, not that. Just that don't fully protect, I guess, minorities. So that's why CPAC would be put in place.
Right, right. And that's what we're trying to pass. So far, we've collected almost 50,000 signatures. Our goal is 100,000, and we're going to take these signatures down to the mayor's office, excuse me, to let them know that we have the support, of the
Do
community.
you know when that will be taking place?
That is probably going to be later on this year that, we'll be able to accomplish our goals.
So right
And
now we're just flooding the alderman's office with all of the
right,
signatures.
right. We need, all the viewers, whoever's listening tonight, to contact your alderman, tell him or her that CPAC needs to be passed, that they need to endorse and support CPAC because it's very important.
And
This
they'll
is something
listen.
that, would protect.
They'll listen if we're talking about not putting them back in office, but
Right.
it's only if we make that conversation.
And also, I'm the kind of person, I like to keep things real. And when I talk to people on the street, our organization is against police crimes. I mean, that's what we do. However, there's been, people talk about black on black violence, black on black crime. And, over the weekend, over the Labor Day weekend, I think it was something like 11 or 12 people killed and 50-something wounded. So, Adrian, police crimes, violence is violence, but could you talk a little bit about black on black crime, black on black violence? I mean, how do you, interpret that? How do you, how does that fit in with what we're doing with CPAC and, the whole thing? What do you feel about? How do you feel about that?
Oh, we have a caller. I will get right back to your question.
Okay, we have a caller.
Hello?
Hi, caller. How are you? How are
Yes,
you?
hi. My name is Carolyn Livingston.
Hi.
Yes,
How are
I'm
you?
doing
How are you
fine. I would
doing?
like to speak with Adrian.
Hi.
Adrian's right here.
yeah.
You can go ahead and talk.
Yeah, hi. I had a question for you. Do you think that they can take the petition nationwide?
If you could just repeat your question.
Like within the Chicagoland area, to could they the petition? Could they do the petition like within the Chicago area, beside 71st Street? Could they go like different areas in Chicago?
Okay, that is a wonderful question. And yes, so we do table throughout the Chicagoland area. There are about 10 different neighborhoods that we work in each and every Saturday, couple hours out the day. So, yes, to answer your question, we are in more locations than just 71st and Jeffrey.
79th and Cottage Grove,
Woodlawn area.
63rd.
Humble Park. Those are just 4 locations of the 10. So, yes. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, ma'am. I guess she's gone. But, call in if you have questions for us. We're here to answer your questions, to get you more acquainted with what CPAC is and what we do and why CPAC is important. And before the caller, Adrian,
You asked
we were
me
discussing
about my take on black crime.
black on black crime.
Just you want to know my general overall view
Your
of the matter
your
and
view.
how it,
I mean, how does
it propel the agenda of CPAC, or how does it hinder it?
well, I mean, your opinion. I mean, does it hold it back, or because I listen to people on the street. I'm sure you've heard it too, and they talk about well, what about black on black violence, and what are we doing about that, and so on. So I just want to let people know that violence is violence, and violence, killing another human being is wrong no matter who does it. Our agenda is police crimes. I mean, that's what we particularly do. However, we cannot overlook black on black violence.
This is true, and I'm glad you did clear that up. Well, in terms of when it comes to CPAC and black on black violence, I honestly don't believe that the violent nature of us African Americans could ever hinder us from uniting. I feel as though that's the statistics that have to do with black on black violence are just a bit over exaggerated. When I'm out in the field and I'm working with the people and I'm getting the signatures, they're the ones in the community, they're the ones who are actually helping me and going up to their neighbors and the people they see at the stores every day, every weekend. So there's nothing violent there. And I just feel, not saying that there's a time and a place for everything, including like completely unexcusable behavior, but it's just if you were continuously promoting this like safe space, this educational space, I just don't see how there would be room for that kind of ignorance. Even if you're just out on a street corner like we are every Saturday working with the people and getting the signatures in. So no, I do not feel like black on black violence hinders the CPAC agenda. If anything, it's what's causing us to have this urgency to educate our communities and let them know that there are other ways to gear your mind to have it work better for you. Yeah, that's my take on black violence. Just like with any community, there are flaws. It's just how you overcome them.
Right. That's pretty good.
CPAC is a great way of overcoming.
Absolutely, absolutely. And black on black violence crimes cannot be, forgotten. I mean, it's a daily occurrence, and we're definitely aware of that. However, I'll say it again. Our organization is against police crimes, and that's what we particularly do. Not to say that we're going to ignore the black on black violence and just totally ignore that, because it can't be ignored.
We're dealing with that in like educational ways. That's how I guess we counteract the argument on black violence when it comes to unifying.
Right, and that's pretty good ways. I mean,
it's a struggle part of everything.
Right. It's a struggle, and unfortunately, in a lot of black neighborhoods, there's not a lot of opportunity for young black people, and unfortunately, that can be one of the factors to lead to violence, and it's something that we need to conquer.
I wouldn't say that there's that is something we need to conquer, but I wouldn't say that there's not a lot of opportunities. There are opportunities that aren't taken advantage of, but there are also resources that we cannot fully take advantage of. Just like I know with maybe like temp agencies, some people may go in looking for a job, but it's because there's an extra step that has to be taken before they go out there and put themselves out there and begin looking for employment, that they have to clear up their own records first. There aren't agencies in the neighborhoods that cater to those specific needs before jumping right into job placement. How about we work on your mentality? How about we get your mind together first before we just send you out into a workforce that you probably have never experienced before yourself. So yeah.
So are you saying that we need more institutions or programs to help, people who may have criminal records? Is that what you were talking about?
Criminal records who need more or less.
Or more or less some sort of job training, like a how to interview
before
how to dress for an interview.
Yeah, before sending them in to actually look for a job. We actually don't have stable institutions like that within these neighborhoods, and we believe that this is something everyone should grow up and grow into, but that's really not the case. These are things that actually have to be taught to some grown men and women, and that's just the reality that we're faced with. I feel like those are the ways in which we need to look to help and conquer this epidemic.
Okay, okay, that's sounds reasonable. Sounds reasonable. I mean, I'm sure there are programs
trainings
out there. Maybe we just need more, and
more that are available.
available.
to the
Correct.
community.
Correct.
Before we just say that there aren't any opportunities, there are many opportunities to be taken advantage of.
So you're saying that we just need to take more advantage of the opportunities that
and use our time
we have.
more wisely.
Okay. Okay. I agree with that.
And it all starts with educating our community.
That is true.
I'm sorry, I'm big on education.
And that's why we're here tonight. We're here every Tuesday at 6:30 to talk about CPAC and also talk about other issues that are going on that may be on your mind that we need to talk about. And that's what the show is really all about, to inform people and really to get people out there and to do something. I mean, right now we're under attack, by the police department. Something needs to be done, and that's why we set up tables. We're out there, we're protesting. Now, September 24th, I believe, is the dinner that we're having.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be at 5:30, September 24th. And the cost of that dinner is $65. So come celebrate with us. I believe it's the 43rd anniversary for the Chicago Alliance. So come out, celebrate with us with that dinner. And also, Adrian, let's talk about some of the steps that how can people get involved? What are some of the steps other than signing the petition? What do you see as other steps as getting people more involved in CPAC?
I say stewardship will be a big thing. Just taking time out of your day, attending a meeting. I feel like that's really one of the first steps of getting involved in CPAC, is getting informed and actually coming to one of the general meetings.
And the meetings are held on Mondays at 6 o'clock. And the address is 1325 South Wabash.
1325.
Yes. So come out. We're there every Monday. You can sit down with us and talk and, tell us about your frustrations and some of the things that may be on your mind. Because when we are on the street talking to people, I mean, you hear a lot of frustration from people. And people,
there are a lot of emotions.
People are very aware of what's going on, and they're upset.
A lot of mothers hurt.
Yes, the mothers, yes, and it's really sad. But take action. Let's just not sit back. Let's take some action and make a voice, have a voice, do something. Just don't sign the petition. Come to our meetings. Come to our rallies, come to our protests. It's like a group effort. It's not just for me or Adrian. It's everybody that's affected by police crimes, because these young people are your sons, your nephews, your brothers, your grandsons. So it kind of affects. I mean, it doesn't kind of affect, it does affect everyone. I mean, I'm sure everyone has a friend or a relative who has been,
pulled from underneath the car and shot
pulled
dead
or been harassed or shot or murdered, by the police department. So it's,
unjustly.
Someone knows someone, that's been affected, and you yourself may be affected. Give us a call tonight. And if you have any questions, as far as with CPAC or what we do, we'd love to answer your questions and hear your voice and, be a part of us. What are some of the things, Adrienne, that you would say that a lot of young people face today, as far as, I mean, what is your overall opinion? I mean, how do you feel about the police department? Have you had any run-ins or instances with the police department? Or maybe you're in a car with friends, or, you know.
Well, I can't speak for all young people today, but I do feel like the respect level is not there for those my age and younger. Just for me personally, like I've said before on the show, that the police have not. I don't get harassed.
You haven't had any
police,
run-ins?
yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't have anything really negative.
You're one of the lucky
to
ones.
reports about
Okay.
them. So they do their job as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
And that's because you haven't had any run-ins with them.
Yeah.
So,
Nothing negative.
okay. Well, that's good. You're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
You're definitely one of the lucky
Made it out
ones.
alive.
You know, but unfortunately, there are many that have been harassed and, you know, even shot or killed by the police department. And, you know, that's why, you know, CPAC is so important, that we try and get this passed, because we see this almost like on a weekly basis. If it's not here in Chicago, it's happening throughout the United States. So it's something that I'm sure everyone is like, you know, like, what's really going on with the police department? They're supposed to serve and protect, and it seems anything but that. You know, as a matter of fact, it's like they make situations worse than what they are. And I'm not saying that the entire police department, I'm not going to say that, but there are some bad apples that, you know, it just breaks your trust in the police department. I mean, I don't feel comfortable even talking to the police. I
Have you
just
had
don't.
any personal experiences yourself?
I have not had any particularly bad experiences with the police department. However, I know a lot of people who have had bad experiences with the police department. So, you know, so we're not here saying that the entire police department it's bad or corrupt or what have you, but there are a bunch of cops that really take things out of line. And
There are
that's,
a bunch of cops who don't deserve to wear the uniform.
yes, I mean, it's just blatant. I mean, it's wrong. You know, it's taken a law. You know, it's like going above the law, and you know that's what needs to be stopped. And you know that's why CPAC, the Civilian Police Accountability Council, is important. Where we want to have an elected official, a civilian elected official, that pretty much governs the police department with their
Governs
misdoings.
Once the action has already been committed, that's when you can ask to see the CPAC ordinance and see where that can be applied to your case, to help you out, so you can not say like, okay, I'm defenseless against this entire system,
Right.
against this entire department. No, CPAC is here.
Right.
That's the great thing about it.
That is one of the good things about it, and it's an ordinance that we're trying to get passed. We've been working
Something
on
that
this
has not
for a
been
while.
done before.
It's never been done.
That's
This
why
is-
they're calling it COPA, and that's why the mayor is pushing it. But
So different name, but pretty much the same thing is what
Yeah.
what their agenda is. You know, it's a different name, but it's still, you know, it's still gonna be the same people, but just it's just like with a store. You know, you take the sign down and you put up another sign, but it's still the same store. So with CPAC, it's going to be a brand new store. You know, and I'm just using that store as a metaphor. But with CPAC, it's going to be a civilian police accountability council, and it's going to be an elected official by you, by the people. So that's
We don't
just
want no
one
one
of
else
the
to run it.
greatest things about it. You know, so we don't have to wait for the, you know, pretty much the police to do something about the police, because as we know,
They
you
can
know,
retire before any justice is taking place.
such as the two officers in the Laquan McDonald case. So, you know, we don't need that to happen. We're tired. We're frustrated. We need something to be done about it. Come visit
And if
us.
you're tired and frustrated and feel like nothing's being done about
That's
it,
right. That's right.
Say CPAC. Just
CPAC.
say it.
And Adrian, what are some of the ways where people can, you know, talk about or help with CPAC? You know, I think one of the ways is to talk to your alderman.
I think one of the ways is just being involved in the alliance and just coming to
Coming to
some
the
of
meetings. Coming to the meetings. And the meetings are on Mondays at 6 o'clock. That's 1325 South Wabash. Come on down. You're free to come down. It's not going to cost you anything. Come down. Let us hear your voice.
You can go online and sign the petition.
Right. Yes. Yes.
That's another helpful way.
Yes. You can go online. You can sign the petition and get yourself involved, and we would love to have you. We're here next
You
Tuesday.
can tell your organization about CPAC. I'm sorry. I was
Oh,
still
that's
thinking of
okay.
reason.
We're here next Tuesday at 6:30. We're here every Tuesday at 6:30. So we hope to see you again.
Because we will be here.
Yes.